My name is Dr. Tim Kaye, and as you can see, I'm a professor at Stetson University College of Law in Florida, like my colleague Rebecca Trammell you heard earlier. However, you can also tell from my accent I'm not from these shores. So, I get a common question. That common question, unfortunately, is when did you last have tea with the Queen? But I also get another question, and that other question is legal education better in the US or the UK? To which there are two sensible answers. One is neither are better, they're just different. That's the short answer. The other one is you need to know why they're different. Let's compare that with a more sophisticated question posed by the McCreighton-Carnegie reports. They're much cited, but despite what we hear today, they're barely implemented. In fact, the reason why they're being cited here today is because these schools are unusual in trying to implement them. Why? Well, what underlies those reports is a totally mistaken assumption that what matters is what is taught. So what we need to do is we need to add to the curriculum. We need to change the curriculum. We need to have more courses. In Florida now, we have over 20 subjects tested on the bar exam because of that mistaken assumption. What is taught doesn't matter. How it's taught matters. Think about your professors that you remember when you were a student. Why do you remember them? You don't remember them because of what they taught you. Not in the classroom. You can't remember a single lesson, a single class. It's how, their personality. And yet it's a topic that really doctrinal faculty never discuss. Even the books that claim to tell you how to do it just really codify what people have been doing for years. There's nothing new there at all. We don't talk about how to teach in the classroom at all. And yet one thing we do know, feedback is essential for improvement. Feedback is essential. But how much feedback do students get in the classroom? Yeah, they get midterms. In the classroom? No. Students might be on call, but then what's going on there? Only those students who are on call are getting feedback. And here we have the Context and Practice Casebook series, supposedly about intentional teaching. Well, actually, it doesn't do anything for the classroom. It just bolts on a series of exercises which are really little more than busy work. This doesn't change the fundamental nature of the legal education that we're providing and the students are receiving. Classroom experience throughout the US is overwhelmingly passive. The professor and a few students talk, the rest fall asleep, they doodle, they shop on Amazon. Passive learning means zero feedback. You can't give feedback to someone who's not actually doing anything. Setting tasks outside of class may be worthwhile in itself, but it doesn't address this point. You need students who are active in class. That means active studying. Active studying fosters an active approach and active participation in class. So how are we going to do that then? Well, back to the US-UK comparison. That original question is not as daft as it sounded. There is one thing that the UK does differently, and frankly better, than happens in the US. That is, they have small group tutorials. Every student attends small group tutorials, 6 to 15 students with a professor discussing stuff. That doesn't happen in doctrinal classes in the US. So what I want to suggest to you is you should drop the lectures and have seminars. Can you have a seminar with 80 students? Well, I've done it with 82. Of course you can. So it isn't impossible at all. What it does require, however, is a fundamentally different approach to classroom teaching. An approach where you don't hide the ball, students come prepared and are ready to actively participate so that you can give them feedback as they go. Okay, that needs some prerequisites. First of all, a really good textbook or casebook. If you're using one that is so deficient that you feel the need to lecture on the subject, it's not fit for purpose. You need to find another one or write it yourself. Secondly, you have to provide students with a series of questions beforehand so they know exactly what the class is going to be about. No hiding the ball, no 20 minutes wondering while the student sort of ums and ahs about what's the question. Now, every student's on call, every student can participate, and you can moderate and clarify and summarise and give constant feedback. No surprises when it comes to the exam now. You know exactly what every student is capable of way before you ever get there. You can identify problems, nip them in the bud, refer them to the right person. Now, Of course, I did say you need to foster the approach outside of class. So what you need is some way to get them interactively working. Here is my own shameless plug, Rebecca, for Webby Books, my own online book system. And you'll notice down the bottom right-hand corner there, a little bubble with a number 11 in. That is students commenting as they read the book. This isn't used by me. This one is used by my colleague, Professor Bickle. I've just hijacked it for this presentation. That comment there is by a student of his. There are 10 other comments there on which he's providing feedback as he goes along. That's before they ever get to class. So when they get to class, they're ready to go. In other words, studying and being in class are no longer seen as discrete elements. For those of you who don't like technology, generally speaking, you're right, because technology unfortunately gets used simply to mimic what we already do in hard copy. That's not the point. Technology can be used in great ways. They can be used in great ways to do different things, and one of the different things is to provide constant feedback. Thank you very much.